we got hit pretty hard, I'm not gonna lie.
Staten Island hit the hardest. 29 inches of snow fell in Grasmere, and this was the scene in Port Richmond. Forest Avenue shut down for hours after this pole fell, sending overhead wires into the street, snarling traffic.
And listen to this. I feel sorry for all the people on Broadway who have bought tickets because they say that, usually the show must go on, but that is not the case today. Broadway is going dark because of the storm.
Yeah, Kate Rooney is live in Times Square for us, and look at Kate. Even Kate is covered in Times Square.
It has to be.
It's everywhere around the area. That's why we are everywhere. Did you find any disappointed theater fans, or does everyone kind of get what's going on?
Yeah, well, I mean, they say the lights are always bright on Broadway, and that is still definitely the case here. I mean, in the middle of Times Square, all the billboards and everything on. However, the theaters are dark. So if you walk around the side streets where you see a lot of the Broadway shows, box office is closed. The TKTS ticket booth, normally you see lines wrapped around it leading up to the evening matinees. We're right near there, and that is closed as well. First time since 2018 that Broadway as a whole has gone dark. Back when we had our first lovely winter storm just a few weeks ago in January, about 10 Broadway shows closed, leaving some performers, technical stage crew, workers, producers a little bit frustrated that they didn't order just a full closure, because it was difficult for the performers and people working the shows to get to and from the theater. So this time, they decided to go ahead and call it early. The one show that was a lone holdout was Operation Mincemeat, which had the original cast supposed to perform their final performance together tonight in the 6 o'clock show. So they were holding out hope that they'd be able to do that for that special occasion. They ended up pivoting, deciding to do a live stream from the Laurie Beachman Theater for Operation Mincemeat, but everything else was closed by around 1 o'clock. However, people are really making the most of it. There is no shortage of folks here in Times Square. I don't know if you can see some of these people here behind me, but everybody's out and about, walking around. A lot of the restaurants are full. People are writing their names in the snow, taking photos. Just kind of a magical once-in-a-lifetime moment to be in Times Square in the middle of a blizzard. We talked to a few folks, some from the South, some from the Pacific Northwest, and they're all just doing their best to make the most of this situation, even though we've already heard about some canceled flights. But we're better to be stranded than in the middle of New York City. We'll be back on our subsequent shows with more later. For now, from Times Square, Kate Rooney, Pix 11 News.
A magical moment? Really?
Well, come on,
I guess for them, because they're tourists, so they can leave eventually. Right. We gotta dig out of this stuff.
Amidst this, DSNY has been hard at work to expand their supervision capacity for the snow shoveler program. And as of today, they can now deploy 1,800 New Yorkers per shift. Due to the historic nature of this blizzard, we've increased pay to $30 per hour. You can walk into any DSNY garage until 8 p.m. this evening and then starting again at 9 a.m. tomorrow. All you need to bring is 2 forms of ID to ensure you get paid.
It started as a routine call Monday afternoon, a snowball fight escalating to a safety concern when people started climbing the roof of a small building inside the park. Police say when officers arrived, they were met with a barrage of snowballs.
This was no joke. This was no game. This was an attack on 2 New York City police officers who were out there doing their job.
Police Union President Patrick Hendry describes what happened as an all-out assault on the officers and wants those responsible held accountable. Some New Yorkers are weighing in.
Clearly, based on how it ended, it wasn't fun and games. I think certainly it seems like it started that way.
It was criminal. Believe me, I don't always, support the police all the time, but I will say in this case, I think most of New York City believes that the police were abused in this situation.
This was a planned snowball fight. Flyers went out on social media, and while some bystanders described the incident as a joke or fun and games, NYPD clergy liaison Chaplain Robert Rice begs to differ. He says this sends the wrong message.
You can't say fun when you slamming snowballs in the back of an NYPD officer head. You can't say fun when you following these officers while they realize that it's too many people that's out there, so they just went to go back to their van, and you follow these people and you attack them. See, fun is when you got some kids playing and they throwing snow at each other, jumping in the snow. But when you throwing snowballs at our NYPD officers, that's unacceptable.
Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch addressed the incident on social media, calling the behavior disgraceful and criminal. But during a news conference Tuesday, Mayor Mamdani had a different tone.
From the videos that I've seen, it looks like a snowball fight.
The union president responding to the mayor's comments, saying by ignoring their injuries and dismissing the incident, the mayor has sent a disgraceful message to every police officer who serves this city and a dangerous message to every person who might be looking to attack a police officer in the future.
Well, right now, the side streets here on Staten Island, many of them still pretty treacherous and could definitely use a plow going down them again. And then we have issues like this that we're dealing with here on Forest Avenue. The entire street here has been closed for more than 8 hours. You can see a pole fell. There are wires down. All of this as people try to dig out to get back to work and school.
Yeah, just been out here shoveling away.
Joris and Mike doing what so many of us are doing, digging out.
We got hit pretty hard, I'm not gonna lie.
Staten Island hit the hardest. 29 inches of snow fell in Grasmere, and this was the scene in Port Richmond. Forest Avenue shut down for hours after this pole fell, sending overhead wires into the street, snarling traffic. Staten Island Borough President Vito Fasella not happy with the city's response.
We were underserved. We needed more people, more personnel, more plows. And I just not really happy. A lot of people are frustrated, angry. They have every right to be. And they missed the ball. Somebody dropped the ball.
Mayor Mamdani did up the response Monday afternoon.
DSNY is deploying 65 further pieces of equipment to Staten Island, and the NYPD tow truck task force is now operating especially heavily in the borough to free stuck vehicles, which include MTA buses.
New York City public schools are open citywide on Tuesday. Catholic schools on Staten Island are closed, however, and Fasella says all schools should be closed.
Exempt Staten Island because it's a very bad situation still, and I don't see it getting better, good enough.
I wish they were closed. My mother's a teacher, so she'll have to be back in the classroom.
You digging out your mom's car?
Correct. Yeah, her car is in the back behind mine, so I'm trying to have all of them digged out so she can just drive on out when it's time to go to work.
And there's also an online petition on change.org. Tens of thousands of people have already signed it. They are demanding that New York City schools go remote tomorrow and not be in person. We reached out to the mayor's office, but so far, no response tonight. We are live here in Port Richmond on Staten Island. Eileen LaPalmer, Pix 11 News.
Hi, Candace. We saw a lot more blacktop today, and the trucks are still here, different sizes of equipment as well. The problem now is really the piles. That is not a pile. It's a car covered by the snow. Now the operation is trucking this stuff out and melting it. Welcome to the neighborhood. Folks are glad for the visit, even if they're just passing through.
We haven't seen snow like this since I think I was pregnant with my daughter, which was 30 years ago.
The snow work produces a sense of accomplishment along with frustration. Clearing away for the car was a big project.
This took me 3 days.
Just in time to admire the cleanup. Josephine's back at home from a Florida trip.
And I have great neighbors that let us have a nice clean walkway when we came home.
On Staten Island, many residents say the cleanup is far from over. The city sent additional resources Tuesday to tackle lingering problem spots. Off Huguenot Avenue and Avon Green, the piles have been growing. They refer to them by another classification.
We have icebergs.
Jill lives on Daffodil Court. They say they've reported their giant iceberg in the middle of the street.
If my neighbors come home or if they park their cars and they leave, I'm trapped in my home.
Two-way residential streets become one lane because the snow takes up space. Everybody awaits the melt or the arrival of snow removal trucks. The Department of Sanitation has refocused efforts on Staten Island.
Staten Island received one of the highest snowfall totals in the city. We are working around the clock to get our streets back in safe traveling condition.
Last night we started getting more personnel, more trucks, more plows, more people, and it's starting to make a dent.
Here's the Staten Island status report. More than 700 personnel and pieces of equipment have shoveled, plowed, and hauled away 87 dump truck loads of snow overnight into Wednesday. DSNY promises the work will continue until roads are clear. City officials say nearly 30 inches of accumulation required a different approach on Staten Island's hilly and windy streets.
My goal and hope is that we could sit down sooner rather than later with the powers that be to say, okay, what are we going to do next time?
Everybody's eyeing Forest Avenue here on Staten Island because Sunday is the annual St. Patrick's Day parade. Asking for some extra cleanup around there. It is a busier thoroughfare, but that West Brighton neighborhood has these similar piles of snow just sitting around. Live on Staten Island, Greg Mocker, Pix 11 News.
All right. Neighbors told me there were two trees that came down on the same street, one all the way at the corner and another one right here exactly where we are. The difference is when this one came down, there was a child right underneath it. Thankfully, nuns who live right here at this convent were able to help.
It took a minute for us to understand the gravity. I think we were slightly speechless.
It was a split-second decision caught on camera. This video shows the moment when a tree comes down almost on top of a toddler who was playing in the snow. A woman covers the child with her body.
If the tree had shifted a little bit one way or the other, or if they had been standing a little bit to one side or the other, someone could have been really seriously hurt.
The child was not hurt. That person who helped him was a nun who lives right here at this convent along West 51st Street in Hell's Kitchen. The sisters saw it all.
We had a woman visiting with her child, and as the sisters were out there, some enjoying the snow, others shoveling, out of seemingly nowhere, a 30-foot tree that stood just right behind me uprooted and fell across the street. And as it was falling, one of the sisters who was with the young child, and she just threw her body on top of this little child just to ensure his safety.
And just a few feet away, still on 51st, take a look. Another tree came down, this time almost hitting the manager of this bar.
All I just remember is seeing snow all around me, and the next thing you know, I see a big old tree next on my left side.
You can see the aftermath. But at least the bar is open again.
Yeah.
Were you scared at all?
Well, I was scared after the fact. Yeah, I need to go play the lotto.
Gratitude for each other, gratitude for that sister and that little one, and then also for the whole community. We all depend on each other, and these are beautiful moments to remember that's actually a great gift.
And right now, cleanup continues here along 51st Street. Again, that child is okay, and now the nuns here from the convent have quite the story to tell.
Park. Washington Square Park.
Washington Square Park.
Washington Square
Arch.
Park. Yep, that's the arch. The arch right by NYU, of course. And look at how these people are just passing the time. I mean, how many people are out there? Hundreds.
I mean, absolutely.
Not 1,000.
I guarantee you something went out to people to come join this and make it a TikTok event or something.
And you know what? It's like, what else to do, right?
Why not?
Yeah.
Okay, so many of these storms that we get, and it's really focused about, where you live, how much you get. Oh, we didn't get hit, but Long Island got hit, or they got hit, or New Jersey got hit. Everyone's getting hit by this thing. South Brooklyn, let's go check in with South Brooklyn. They're bracing for the impact of this storm as well, and not just snow either, because the blizzard is expected to bring some coastal flooding.
Yeah, we continue with our blizzard coverage with McGee Hickey, who is in Coney Island for us right now with a look at how things are going out there. Same old story. Hello, McGee, all bundled up and getting covered with snow.
Yes, it's all bundled up and getting covered with snow. It's still only lightly snowing. It's a gentle snow. Here we are on Stillwell Avenue and Surf Avenue. And earlier today, we were out on the boardwalk here at Coney Island trying to see how many people, and there were a lot of people out on the boardwalk looking at the ocean and just remembering this is the moment before the blizzard. Now, for many people, it is a time to remember that we should not be out in the snow. We should listen to what Mayor Mamdani has been saying, and that is stay indoors, particularly when the travel ban takes effect at 9 p.m. tonight, when there will be really dangerous conditions out here in Coney Island and throughout the 5 boroughs. Earlier this afternoon, we spoke to lots of city workers here in Coney Island who were on standby, just getting ready to start to plow the streets to take care of people in nursing homes
and for their outreach work with the homeless.
It's going to be very bad. Stay off the roads.
Yeah.
Let us clean everything up nice, get everything safe for everybody.
Right. And when you look at Coney Island, pre-blizzard, what are your thoughts?
Pre-blizzard, it's cold. It's extra 10 degrees cold over here on this block.
If school is closed and then a lot of us got kids, a lot of us got to stay home. Unfortunately, some of the patients is not going to be taken care of. I wish I was there, but I had nobody to watch my child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're taking care of a lot of people on both ends.
Yes, it is. It's very hard, but, we got to do it.
We got some socks over here, water, protein bars, hand warmers, gloves, and we also got a sandwich.
And you're finding homeless on the subway are receptive to your outreach?
Oh, absolutely, especially when we're on the F train. The F train has been one of the bigger lines that we'll see tons and tons of homeless people.
And lots of people out here trying to help other people. There's an ESU police unit right there on Surf Avenue. We've seen plows going by, salters too, and we are standing here live in Coney Island. McGee Hickey, Pix 11 News. Back to you, Corey and Kaidi.
All right, McGee, thank you. Look, we're all over the place to make sure that you're covered wherever you live.
Let's take this storm step by step. So what I've been using, and I think this is a bit of a better illustration than what you would see on classic TV with a futurecast, and this is the rain, this is the snow, blah, 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 blah. I want to show you, all we really care about is the snow intensity. What is the worst portion of the storm, to your point as well, and who could get into these 3-4 inch per hour snow rates. So right now, we're in this awkward phase of development where it's snowing, but it's not accumulating. Ground temperatures are still very, very warm. Yeah. Now, as we move the timeline, it's right in this period of time, I think, we start to convert because two things are happening. The coastal's fully engaged. That means it's developed. The low is now off of Delaware Bay. And now you're starting to see snow rates increase or snow intensities. We know that because you see the scale at the top and you see the coloring, and let me go a little closer in for you just so we can do this. And this is fun because people, I think, are asking the same thing, and you're asking this, is that what I want to watch is this band. This is where you get your snow rates of 2 and 3 and 4 inches per hour.
No, it's Jersey Shore.
We need Jersey Shore, right? Yeah. Now, it's very close to New York City, and this is when you get into the historic level storms. This band is only 30 miles away, okay? If this thing wobbles 30 miles, this is 20 plus inches of snow. The highest number in terms of Central Park reporting is 27.5 inches of snow in 2016.
Wow.
Can't blame
the other way?
I mean, wobble that way, yes. I would like it too because I don't want to pay the snow person to dig me out.
Yeah, I know. I done this last time.
Second one is 06. I remember the 06 fondly. I was in high school. Is that old or young? Yeah,
no, you were not.
I was
there's no way. 16? There's no way.
Was it? I was going to college.
Yes.
There's no way. He did 06.
26. There's
no way. You're only 2 years younger than me.
I had just graduated in 2016, so there's no way you were.
26. Graduated what? Preschool?
Sure. Yeah, let's go with that.
21 inches in 1888. Listen to some of these dates, guys. Top 10 snowfall. 2016, 06. What's with 06s? 1947, 1888, 2010, 1996. Remember that? That's why I'm a weatherman. 2010, 03, 11. I mean, all this stuff happened in near modern day time.
Yeah, the mayor viewing this as a, quote, snowball fight. He did concede today that perhaps it went a little too far, but he faced a flurry of tough questions about this. And his position puts him at odds with Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch, who, of course, reports directly to him, with many members of the uniformed NYPD officers, various unions and the officers themselves, and with New Yorkers who look at the video and say, this just doesn't seem right.
Following
growing outcry over videos of officers being pelted by snowballs in Washington Square Park during a planned community snowball fight, Mayor Zohran Mamdani continues to say this does not rise to the level of criminal activity.
What I saw yesterday in these videos was a snowball fight that got out of hand. I believe that our officers, just like any city workers, deserve respect.
But the mayor's own NYPD is calling what happened criminal, saying several officers suffered lacerations that had to be treated at the hospital. The NYPD released 4 pictures describing these individuals as wanted for assault on a police officer. Scott Munro with the NYPD Detectives Endowment praised how the department is handling this.
They're doing what's right, because we will have an attack on police officers. If we don't step in now and do something with this now, we may have a problem next week, the week after. What's next? You're going to throw rocks at cops?
But as for Mayor Mamdani,
I don't think the mayor should be involved with this situation at all. You have to have faith in the people that work under you.
we pressed Mayor Mamdani about how far he would take this if the people caught on camera throwing snowballs at NYPD officers were criminally charged. He most recently spoke out against charges for a schizophrenic man in Queens, Jabez Chakrabarty, who was charged for coming at police officers with a kitchen knife.
Will you make a similar statement saying these kids should not be charged?
You know, I've said that what I saw was a snowball fight. It should be treated accordingly. It was one that got out of hand, but that's what it was.
The mayor dismissed any notion that he is out of touch with his own police commissioner, Jessica Tisch, and also said he would not look into banning or regulating any sort of large viral public events like the giant snowball fight that was planned here. We've seen other big events here at Washington Square Park from time to time get a little rowdy and out of hand, but he says that's not on the table. He notably did not make a joke that he's been making in recent days and weeks because of the snow. If you got to throw a snowball at anyone, throw one at me, is what the mayor's been saying, tongue in cheek, usually in reference to school kids. But he didn't really go there today, struck a much more serious tone. Live at Washington Square Park, Henry Rossoff, Pix 11 News.
That's the sound of progress in the snow. One shovel, one block at a time. Crews from multiple agencies have been moving snow out of the way, clearing the way for you to move around.
Oh, the cleanup is good. The mayor did do a good job. Yes, the cleanup is good.
But as with anything in the city, with more than 6,000 miles of roads, tens of thousands of intersections, it's all about where you stand, literally.
Super slippery and dangerous out for a lot of New Yorkers.
Emergency snow workers have been on the job since the storm started on Sunday into Monday. The Department of Sanitation has tripled the amount of emergency shovelers to about 1,500. This storm, supervisors say they used GPS to track not only plowing, but the clearing of crosswalks and bus stops. The sanitation commissioner explains why some areas are still tricky.
When we're plowing the street, we're plowing it to the right. So that snow has to go somewhere. If that snow has no room to go, it creates challenges.
Every storm's a learning experience.
Neighbors will be watching their sidewalks and intersections. Are the clearings for the crosswalks and bus stops wide enough? 4 feet is the guide. The sun melts a wider path in many places.
The weather was different, right? So it's hard to compare because the ground was frozen, so we didn't have the puddle issue.
Owners are responsible for clearing sidewalks and fire hydrants on their property. The city and private contractors take care of bus stops with shelters and without.
I think they'll probably still be doing some more work.
Emergency snow workers will remain on the job this week. The city raised the hourly wage to $30 an hour. More snows in the forecast.
This is quote unquote bad, but again, like we've seen worse as kids growing up in the Midwest.
Report problem areas to 311. The city is tracking where they need to get to. As for trash, the regular pickup won't start again till Wednesday evening, and it probably won't get back to normal until next week.
Department of Sanitation says cleanup is ongoing, but for some residents here on Staten Island, the big dig out is moving one shovel at a time. Days after the blizzard dumped nearly 30 inches of snow on Staten Island, some cars remain encased. Sidewalks are still impassable, leaving some residents trudging through the streets, while others continue digging out from the storm's aftermath. The blizzard left Alice Gadulai and her husband Robert homebound.
We was stuck, I believe, 20-something hours, and they not come in several hours still, Grasmere Avenue, and we still struggle. We cannot get out of with the cars. Home, we shovel, but our street was blocked.
They say plows eventually made it down the block, but Robert has spent the past 3 days digging out sidewalks and shared spaces for his family and neighbors. Still, he said it took extra help to fully clear the street.
Thanks God that's our mechanic. They took it like some bobcat, rented, and they just clean up the whole street.
The Department of Sanitation says Staten Island was the hardest hit borough, and crews are continuing cleanup efforts. More than 700 personnel and pieces of equipment shoveled, plowed, and hauled away 87 dump truck loads of snow Tuesday night into Wednesday, according to the department. Borough President Vito Fasella says the work will not stop until roads are cleared.
Last night we started getting more personnel, more trucks, more plows, more people, and it's starting to make a dent.
Leo Alie was able to drive his car for the first time since the storm after more than an hour of shoveling it free. Still, he says driving it feels bittersweet.
It's still rough because when you drive, like, where are you going to park it? You know what I mean? There's nowhere to park it. It's tough, but we'll get through it.
The Department of Sanitation says while there may be some streets needing another plow pass, crews are mostly salting and hauling snow to melting locations.
It's video that's now got thousands upon thousands of views on social media. A man shovels snow onto a car, repeatedly burying it.
Look at our car right now. Look at our car.
That's the car's owner, Paula Macias, reacting to what you see as well. Her SUV covered in snow on Monday afternoon, shortly after the blizzard started tapering off, hours after the man shoveled it in.
It was like literally above this.
On Wednesday, Macias talked about what had happened as she surveyed her car, which she said took her husband, and her 3 children 2 hours to dig out.
We've had ongoing issues with this man. He literally lives right next door to me.
The snow issue started Sunday night, but the dispute goes back months. The man who shoveled in the car has complained to them about their dog, a Belgian Shepherd, since last summer. Macias says the man has harassed them repeatedly. On Sunday, her husband asked the man who was shoveling a neighbor's driveway next to their car to not put snow on their car. Instead,
we're throwing the snow out in the street. You continue to throw the snow on our car.
Eventually, the man stopped until the following day. That's when someone recorded the now viral video of the man burying Macias's SUV, which she said he also scratched up. Now, there are at least 2 sides to every story, and in the interest of fairness and balance, we, as always, sought out all sides. We were able to track down the man who buried Macias's car under a mound of snow. He admitted that he did it, but called it a petty dispute and claimed he did nothing wrong. But other people apparently disagree. Macias said they've told her they couldn't believe what they saw. Now thousands worldwide have seen it. She said she called police to the scene who didn't take action at the time. But now Macias says she's going to file a criminal complaint and try to get protection.
I feel that's vandalism. I feel it's harassment at this point because it was purposely done to my car out of hate.